Hello everyone and welcome to Starsector. As you can see, looking up here at the clock, it has been a while in-game since our last episode, about 2 years in fact, which seems like a lot, but in reality isn't all that much when you consider what I've been doing. So last time I said I would explore the rest of the periphery surrounding the core worlds, and I have done that. As you can see, I have explored each of these constellations, not necessarily surveyed every single planet, but at least got preliminary survey data on most of them, unless, of course, there wasn't anything worth looking at. And in some cases, that is true. Some of these planets, they just obviously weren't valuable to me in any way, so I didn't bother surveying them because that wasn't my goal. Along the way, I did find some shiny goods. If I want to open up my inventory really quick, you can see here, this is what I found the loot was in all those worlds I surveyed and the various different things I picked up along the way. So this is all just from exploration in those areas surrounding the core worlds. That's it. I didn't do anything else. I haven't bought any of these from anywhere, which I couldn't anyway, even if I wanted to, because you can't buy blueprints in the vanilla game. But we'll learn these really quick, just to make sure we've got them all taken care of. There we go. I also found a bunch of corrupted nanocores, a single pristine nanocore, a few synchrotron cores, and some more blueprint packages. Oh, hadn't had that one learned either. There we go. Okay, we also have a bunch of data, although not as much as I would have if I had surveyed each of those places, but for the majority of the time I was doing this, I didn't actually have good survey ships available. So it was prohibitively expensive for me to survey every planet, so I didn't do that for a majority of it. I did do it for later, because as you can see, our fleet has grown some. And on some of these ships, I have installed, what's it called, surveying equipment. Not on every single one of them, but on several. Not sure where it all is, but anyway, we now have ourselves three cruisers, an Eagle, a 14th Battle Group Eagle, a 14th Battle Group Falcon, and a Standard Falcon. I purchased all three of these ships in my travels. I saw them and was like, oh, I can't pass that up. Which, if you can afford them, I wouldn't pass them up in your case either. These are excellent ships. The 14th Battle Group ships not only look slightly cooler than their standard companions, but they're actually better. The ships are slightly slower than the standard variant, but they are more heavily armored, and they have something else about them. I can't remember what it is. I know their armor's better. Maybe there's something else about them too. Anyway, they're cool. I like them. We have further fitting. You guys have been asking a lot about fitting. These are fitted for standoff fighting. These two. These are a pair of heavy autocannons for my primary kinetic loadout, along with 2 graviton beams, which provides some very long-range fire support at 1,000 and 800 respectively. A heavy mauler for 1,000 range kinetic damage, and then a ion beam to make sure people keep their shields up rather than just tank the kinetic if they want to. And some tac lasers for support and atropos and some PD, along with integrated targeting unit. This ship is very good at fighting at range. It's not fast enough to keep up with the system or safety override ships, but it is ranged enough to provide fire support to them, even when it's not able to necessarily keep up with them on their moment by moment attacks. This is a similar build. We have 2 hypervelocity drivers, 2 ion beams, and 2 tac lasers. The reasons I went with hypervelocity drivers is 1, their range is great. 2, their damage is very high for their individual hits, and the way the game calculates armors, a hit against armor that is very high damage is much more powerful than a whole bunch of individual hits that are much lower themselves but of equal total damage. So if you have 100 damage in 1 shot and 100 damage in 10 shots, the 10 shots will actually do significantly less total damage to armor due to the way the game calculates armor. So hypervelocity drivers, because they have fairly hard-hitting shots, are difficult to armor tank even though they're kinetic, and the AI will kind of shun tanking those, and the kinetic or the EMP damage doesn't hurt either. So Put together, this makes for fairly powerful fire to support destroyers, or the cruiser as well. Again, an integrated targeting unit to help with that range. And then this one is made a little bit more brawly. Instead of hypervelocity drivers, HPVs, we have some heavy autocannons for slightly shorter range and much less accurate fire, but high DPS, which are higher DPS than these actually, but no EMP added component, and then some phase lances along with some sabos. The combination is pretty potent. I also have LRPDs on here because they can add some fire support, and they also can help deal with incoming missiles from very long ways away, and also help other ships out with PD duties. It has an unstable ejector to help it get close enough to use those phase lances, and overall it's a pretty decent ship. It's not as fast, obviously, as these ships are, but it's fast enough to still make a difference. And I think I've showed this before, but we do have a high-intensity laser with 2 graviton beams on the focal clue now. I do not have names for these ships. All of the names I have remaining are for carriers, which, by the way, I have not put a name on this one because the carrier names are also for large carriers. So if anyone wants to name this little Gemini here, please submit a name. We still have the Raging Spider. It's now rocking some claws as well because the combination of broadswords for kinetic damage and claws for EMP is really potent. You should definitely give that a try. It really messes people up, and it also does excellent in interception duties. The combination really messes up enemy fighters as well. Beyond that, we have one Colossus that needs a name. And then I think it's just these guys. Oh, wait, did we pick up any more frigates? We did. These are the other stars of the show. So I have here an Omen, a Centurion, a Scarab, and a Brawler, which is essentially a full complement of the game's premier escort frigates. But these ships are all designed to fight with larger ships rather than on their own. Now, you could make an argument for the Omen as a solo ship, but in general, I find that it does better while supporting other ships, especially as a PD ship, and has been fitted in that with that goal in mind. Same with this ship. It has a lot of PD designed to help it put down enemy fighters and stuff, which is exactly what it's designed for. This ship I assign as an escort to another ship. In fact, when I deploy, I essentially just assign all 4 of these ships to help out, and they do a great job. This is the only one that's not really designed for PD. This is designed to help kill other ships. And it has a HVD, there we go, to help with that, and some salamanders to make itself annoying. So, if anyone has names for these support ships right here, there's four support frigates that'll be named, 3 cruisers, and 1 Gemini and 1 Colossus that are all in need of names. I know it's a lot of ships, but hey, it's been a while in game. However, there's a reason why I did all this, and I know it feels like I've jumped ahead a really long ways, but you guys have been asking me over and over again, what do I need to be able to start a colony? This is my answer. 1 million credits in the bank, a fleet of competent ships capable of hitting hard when you need to. This is not by any means the most powerful fleet you'll ever see. This is actually quite weak compared to, say, a system defense fleet, but this alone is enough to put some serious hurt on most of the threats you'll face in the early game, and it's certainly enough to take out early battle stations and stuff from pirates you might be facing. Let's pick up some crew really quick. We'll just grab a whole lot of them. That should be enough. Actually, I take that back. We need to go buy a bunch of crew. Are they mad at me? I don't remember. As for how I got that 1 million credits, that came primarily from doing exploration quests in the periphery as I was going along, from taking delivery quests around inside the core worlds whenever I came back, and doing, I think, 2 or 3 bounties on pirate and pather bases I found while exploring. I certainly found a couple pather bases I could not handle, but I could handle at least one of them, so I did. A month until I can go back. Okay, so I did kill something recently here. Let's see, is there anything else of major importance that happened? I can't think of anything. Oh, I'm level 40 now. That's the other thing. I was like level 27 in the last video, or level 17 or something. So I've gone up by quite a few levels, primarily due to combat against just roaming pirate groups. Okay, I'm actually going to take all of the crew they have, including from the black market. All right, and the reason for that is because we are going to go colonize a planet, and I'll grab those since I'm already just doing some smuggling. I don't really care if they're mad at me because I'm not going to be coming back here for a while. So let's zip back on over to our lost Astropolis. And I think it's finally time to clear that place out. Quests like this. You'll get these kind of quests, the analyze quests for exploration. And these pirate bases. Oh, there's another one in... Oh, I know about that base. I'm not going anywhere near that thing. I nearly died at that base, actually. I got out of there by the skin of my teeth. So we won't be going there. Oh, and one other thing I haven't done, but you should do, is when you're ready to start exploring seriously, take a commission. Now, the reason I say this is because commissions are fairly dangerous, right? Like, you're going to end up fighting enemy fleets if you take them. But the thing is, if you're off exploring, you're not going to be meeting enemy fleets. So all you'll be doing is getting paid, which is excellent. You'll basically be making money for existing, which I'm totally down with. Oh, I have too much stuff. There we go, we'll put the metal back. Grab all of this. And there we go. That is everything but the metal. In fact, we're going to grab the metal anyway. And then turn off our burp drive there. Oh, I didn't want to consider my military options. I wanted to trade. We're going to sell the majority of this. Actually, we'll just do that. Oh, I still had my transponder off. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to sell all of these little survey data and any excess blueprints, because I'm not going to sell them to the pirates, obviously, and I don't have any actual use for them at the moment because I've already learned them. So we'll shift to the blueprint packages, learn any of these mod specs I don't know, which include the lovely advanced optics, which will be excellent. Basically, we want to make as much money as we can on our way out of here. I do want to hold on to these weapons though, because I'm probably going to use at least some of them aside from those. Alright. The last thing I'm going to do while I'm here is I'm going to take a commission even though I'm leaving for the reasons I've listed. I'd like to be commissioned by the Persian League, or Persian League, whatever you want to say, I don't know. I'm going to accept the League's commission. I'll be making 80,000 a month. I believe it's twice your level. I could be mistaken about that. Alright, so I did not find anywhere better to colonize. I do know there is a Terran world in one of these places out here, due to an exploration mission that I just didn't take. In fact, that's a great thing you should do. Always look at your exploration missions when they come up, because oftentimes they'll be like this one, for instance, study or survey rocky metallic world. Now you know there's a rocky metallic world here. Sure, we haven't explored it yet, but we know it exists. Actually, I have explored that one, probably. I've probably been there at least. But I mean, you can get them for places you've never been, which will essentially give you intel on systems you haven't visited, which is excellent. So definitely use these as a way of discovering locations that might be interesting. If you get it like a Terran world that's, you know, in a system you haven't gone to, remember it, write it down. This will not stay in the log forever, because once it's withdrawn, it's gone pretty quickly. You'll want to keep that information so that you're able to later go and find that system. Anyway, we are headed to... Which one do we want to colonize? Show system info. So as many of you pointed out, I didn't mention it, I did know about it, but there is food production on water worlds. They have a unique farming bonus that essentially is like farmland. Uh, so it's definitely possible to work with these worlds. Let's see. We could either go here or here. I don't want to go to these two yet. This one because it has no farming, and this one because it is just worse than this one. So either Penemu or Asbeal. Well, you know what? I think we're going to go with Penemu. Even though it's a bit higher on the hazard rating, which will make things more expensive, we're still going to go there first. Turn on our burn drive. Sustained burn. All right, I will speed this up and get back to you as soon as we arrive. Here we are at Penemu. Probably rename that to something else, but at the moment, let's go colonize it. Establish a colony. Now you will always need 1,000 crew, at least 100 heavy machinery, and 200 supplies to do this. And you can see here, actually before we do this, this colony will have 51% accessibility, assuming spaceport was constructed. This is due to proximity to other colonies, a spaceport, and hostility with other factions. This means that shipping limits would be 10 units for in faction, which basically means there would be no limit. 5 units to and from other factions. That's not too bad, and we can improve this as time goes on. So, let's see. What do we want to name this planet? Alright, after some thought, I decided on Trenzalore. The reason is because this planet's going to get sieged a lot, and since Trenzalore was sieged for 900 years, that would make sense. Alright, so now you have a planet-based or otherwise static asset, you will need to set up your faction's name and flag. You can always change these later by clicking on both. You'll have a little map or flag right here, and you'll be able to change it there. So, the Kali Cartel. The new player's fleet. That'll work. Let's see. And this should be NPF. There we go. Let's go for our flags. I didn't actually make a custom one. I should have done that. Oh well. I might make one after this and we'll add it in the next episode. But for now, we'll just go with the cool pirate flag. Confirm. Okay, so for those of you who have not seen the colony screen before, this is what it is. Shows here how much money we're making per month with a breakdown of all of the things that are affecting this, the hazard rating and all the things that affect that. I'm going to turn on use stockpiles during shortages because this means I can deliver goods to this planet, and if it's low on something, it will use them, which is nice. And if you look, when you mouse over this button, it shows it's going to need 600 supplies per month, 400 domestic goods, and 1,000 food. So it's definitely going to need some goods here in the near future. However, it shouldn't be a big issue for now. We can't turn on Freeport yet because we don't have a spaceport. I'll explain what that is when we get there. Also, if you ever want to get rid of a colony, as long as it is size 3 or smaller, you can abandon it. So that's something you can do if you have a colony that's just not working for you. All right, anyway, let's add a building to the queue. We can build one industry right now. As you can see, you can have up to 4 on a large colony. This may be dependent on the size of the planet. I have not checked. I will get back to you on that. But for now, this planet is maxed out at size at 4 industries. Do note that things such as the Patrol HQ will count as an industry if you increase them beyond Patrol HQ. Patrol HQ is not an industry, it is simply a structure. However, the next level up after it, I can't remember what it's called. It's not the Fleet HQ, but it's the one between those two, is considered an industry, and you'll have to save a slot for it. Additionally, heavy industry and tech mining will piss off the Ludic path. If you put either of these industries on your colony, you will incite their wrath and be forced to deal with them. So keep that in mind. I would not recommend building either of these until you're ready to deal with the path. Personally, I'm going to start with aquaculture. That should get our food rolling, and then I'll probably follow it up with refining, or with mining, I mean. And it's going to be a while then after that before we're able to get another industry. I might actually have the Patrol HQ industry, and then finish up with maybe light industry or fuel production. I'm not sure. I do have access to volatiles, which is great for fuel production. But anyway, let's get started. We're going to build our first industry. You'll notice these things are really expensive. You're going to need all the money you can get your hands on to make a colony. So, although you do notice, it is making me money right now. It's not costing me anything. That's also why I took the commission with the Persean League. Basically, that'll just give me an extra little bonus worth of cash. You're going to do a lot of waiting in the early days. So, anyway, as you wait, you'll get paid to do it. So right now our access is terrible because we have no spaceport, which means we really can't export or import anything. Basically, the first month or first 15 days of a planet suck for that planet. But after that, they get a lot better. So let's let this planet do its thing. And actually, I first want to drop off all this stuff. I've got a lot of it. I'm going to drop off a little more than 1,000 heavy machinery, some drugs, metal. Actually, I'm going to need 100 of these. Actually, let's take 300. 25, thank you. And we're going to need, 30 of these, I think? I don't know. We'll find out. Now, do note, this is the resource stockpile part of the colony, not the storage. Anything put in here, the colony can consume if you have that button pressed. So, be careful about putting stuff in here if you're trying to store it. The storage button's right here, and this stuff will not be consumed regardless of what you put in here, including resources. You can put resources in here, but the colony won't have access to them, which is also important to note, because if you bring, 1,000 food or whatever to help with a shortage, and then you accidentally put it in the storage, the colony is going to starve. So keep that in mind and make sure you're putting your goods in the right sections. Okay, that's everything, I believe, that I wanted to take. Good. We do need more supplies, but we're doing okay. Let's see, what else is there? I guess some of you might be wondering why I picked this planet in particular. The reason is because it has access to all of the resources, so it's a good base. I probably won't actually have the refining of those resources on this planet. And the reason is, for those of you who have watched my trade video, you'll know this, but for those of you who haven't, all goods in a colony, like these resources here, are shared within your faction, as long as the accessibility is high enough. Remember, when we colonized this planet, it said that it would be able to ship 10 units worth of goods in faction once the spaceport is built. 10 is the max an industry can produce, and those goods are not consumed. They just represent the supply capacity of the planet. So if you have, say, a mining facility that's producing 10 ore per month. That means that any planet you have will be able to use the resources from that as long as it's using 10 or less. So if you have 5 planets that are all using 9 ore per month, all of those planets will be supplied by the one planet producing at level 10. So as long as I have a planet that's producing resources, and this planet will be producing all of these different resources, I will be able to supply all of the others, which is excellent. And really something you should think about when you are starting out, because basically I'll be able to export food, organics, volatiles, ore, and rare ore as soon as I get the mining facilities up for those and the aquaculture. So I'll have a lot of exports just out of the gate. I won't have a lot of production, so my money will not be excessive, but I'll be making something. So definitely something you want to consider. And then my other planets in this system will definitely be more geared towards production where appropriate. Anyway, let's get a move on. Let's see. We want to check and see if there's anything. Oh, well, that's convenient. We have Kim Vincent, Bruxa Dimos. That's a bit far, although the price is good. I like Kim Vincent. She does have a capital, but it is just an Alice Mark II. I say just because there's only one. If there's more than one of these things, it's not just anything. But I think, let's see, this cryovolcanic world in a binary star system. There's only one binary star system here, so let's open the map, show system info, and there's 2 cryovolcanic worlds. Let's go with the big one. Or actually, no, this is a moon. We'll go with this one. They often seem to be around moons. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is, as I said before, you end up spending a lot of time waiting, and you don't want to be wasting that time just hanging out around your planet. You want to be staying close to your planet if possible, but you really want to be making money if you can. This is a great time to catch up on any bounties like I'm doing, or do some exploration in nearby systems if you have the supplies to do so. Ooh, whoops, we missed our stop. In general, you just want to be doing anything you can to make some cash. I got hit by a storm. Can I shoot the cap? No, I cannot. Okay. See the Fogel clue, and okay, that should be fine. Is this the right one? It is not. I should have gone with the big one. Cryovolcanic. There's nothing here, is there? I don't think so. I believe I've been here before. Wait, that planet. Yeah, I have. Okay, fully surveyed. I've been here before, definitely. Ooh, we need fuel too. I hope we get lots from these guys. And there's our monthly income right there. See? This is an excellent way to help prop up your colony in those early days. It can really help just because, like I said, you're not actually engaging in any faction warfare. You're just getting paid for existing, which is pretty much what you need. Honestly, like I said, I should have done this at the beginning of my grand tour of exploration. I didn't. If I had, I would have had a lot more money right now. That was my mistake. I just didn't think of it. So that's why I'm telling you now. Well, let's check on Trenzalore. 3 days left. Ooh, and there's our friends. All right, let's rock this. Move in to engage. We also have 10 officers now, so doing much better in terms of officers than we were previously. And it looks like my son is waking up, so I will actually be right back and we'll do this battle as soon as I have fed him. All right. Let's see. What do we want to bring in? Probably pretty much everybody. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have 6 frigates. That should work, because I don't usually take an escort. Alright, let's deploy. And then we're going to have a probably defense order right there. And then there's me, so light, escort, light, light. And that should be everyone, I believe. Okay. Sorry, in the mode of being quiet now because my son is asleep. Gotta get back into the streaming or recording voice. But anyway, the reason I skipped ahead so far, I know that must seem a bit disjointed to some of you, to suddenly be 2 years farther in the game, is that while a lot happened, none of it was new in that time period. It was just more of exploration, which you've already done, and surveying, which we've already done, and fighting pirates, which we've already done, trading, which we've already done, that kind of thing. And this is supposed to be a Let's Play aimed at teaching new players, and so I wanted to kind of move things along to the point that you guys have really seemed to be interested in, which is, of course, colonies. And with that will come some new mechanics that we haven't really dealt with up until now. So yeah, that's why I decided that it was time to shift into full colony mode. As you can see, my fleet does not need me to really shut down the piratey bits, the little ones. Oh, hey, like a mud skipper with a hellbore. That's exciting. He got one shot off and it connected. He actually shot my guy. Oh, that's shameful. Can't believe you let him hit him. Oh well. There we go. Just shut down this kite really quick. And probably this wolf, just get him out of the way. There we go. No reason to really keep my shields up. Oh man, those lashers, they don't last long in a fight. Okay, now that everybody's kind of where I want them to be, close that out. We're going to actually... Is there an ignore button? No, not avoid. I don't want to avoid. I'm going to put a fighter strike on him. And then engage and engage. And I'll finish this mule up real quick. Oh, I shouldn't have dropped my shields for that. Got EMP'd. Oh well. Sometimes it's a good idea to drop your shields if you're about to get saboed, but not always. And that was probably not the best choice. Although I only lost my torpedoes, it looks like. Oh, the Lycarthos is having troubles. Well, not troubles, but... Okay, oh, time to back up. When you're playing your safety override ships, respect fighters. They are not your friends. Ooh, hello. What are those? Oh, those are just flat cannons, or devastator cannons, I guess. Oh, hi. Wow, you're aggressive. Alright, hey, there's another mud skipper. That's a different one. It's had a Mark 9. Dive in here. Actually, let's go get this Shrike before he can get away. Oh my goodness. They're just gonna torpedo him. Can't let that get away. That would be embarrassing. And I'm gonna go shut down their additional, what are they called? Carriers. It's 4 in the morning right now for me, so words don't work so well. But hey, I gotta work with the time I have to record, so. Ooh, I didn't overload. That's nice. I was kind of expecting to right there. And the Atlas was destroyed. Excellent. Get rid of him. there's another carrier over there somewhere, isn't there? I think there's probably a Tarsus somewhere over here. Oh, never mind. It must have been destroyed. Excellent. All right. Well, that went pretty well. Only lost 7 crew, probably all of them from fighters. Oh, we could take ourselves a mud skipper. That would be a poor decision. I know I haven't gotten my my ship video out yet, but I can tell you there is a ship that's pretty low on the list of ships I think are good. And hint, hint, we just fought a couple of them. I hate the mud skipper. I mean, it's hilarious though. It's funny in like a mascot kind of way. We got one of those devastators. Oh no, 5 heavy machinery. However will we do? Do without. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's check on our colony. So to do that, if you are not at your colony, you just press D to open the command menu or click on D command. And then you have all these things, and the one you're looking for is colonies. We've got Trenzalore here. And Trenzalore has 2 days left until it finishes that building. So let's set a course. I don't want to go to Canaan. Let's go there. Lay in a course to Lycael habitat. Is that what that is? Lycael? Alright. And I will come back to you as soon as we get there. Okay, so just real quick, our colony has finished that spaceport, and now as you can see, our accessibility is 82%, which is much better. So 30% from my skills. We go here. Where's my accessibility? Fleet logistics. There we go. Right here. I'm pretty sure this is what is giving it to us. Maybe not. It says it's coming from fleet logistics, and I'm pretty sure that's where it's coming from. But it's not listed there in the tooltip. Anyway, 32% from, or 30% from fleet logistics, and 50% from spaceport. I'll have to test that without the character skill and see if that is actually where that's coming from. I can't give you a definitive answer right now. If you do know, let me know in the comments. Okay, so now that we have a spaceport, we can turn this into a free port. The reason you would do this is it allows you to start importing things like drugs. It also has increased accessibility. In our case, it's not a lot though. It's only 5% accessibility increase, and it would cost us some defense, some of our fleet size due to the stability, and some stability. So at the moment, I'm not super interested in doing that. Let's see what we're consuming right now. There are currently no shortages to counter. Excellent. Okay, so our total growth is really low. I would like to counter that with some growth incentives. So basically what you're doing here is you are paying people to move into your colony. So you just drag this little bar, and you can just basically throw money at your colony. So as it says, the approximate cost of 1% additional population growth is 1,000. That's right now. This will increase as your colony gets larger. The next level at colony size 4, I believe it's 200,000, and it just gets exponentially more expensive. It's really pricey when you're at, like, you know, colony size 8 or 9. It's prohibitively expensive, in the millions. And as it says, already invested funds can be withdrawn at 75% original value. So we're going to confirm this because I have the money to spend. We go to growth incentives. I could take it back out, but I would only get 75 back. So you don't really want to do that. I mean, you can if you know you're in critical need of funds, but you probably shouldn't be. Don't invest in growth incentive unless you need, unless you have the money. Sure, certainly feel free to do it. It's obviously very good for your increased growth, but don't do it obviously if you don't have the money, because it's not critical. You will be able to survive without it. Your colony will continue to grow unless it's having serious stability issues. It'll just grow more slowly, which is, if you're, at least if you're making money, as you can go here into your income and see your net income, as long as this is positive, all it means is just more time. If you're not upsetting the hegemony or the Ludic path, the only thing you're going to have to deal with is pirates. So you're probably golden for waiting if you have to. Obviously, I'm not waiting because I want my colony to be done sooner rather than later. Oh, I nicked that just right. Ouch. Oh dear. Wow, I did not mean to hit that. Okay, well, we're going to have an exciting time here, and one of our frigates is down due to hitting a storm. Whew, okay, that is a lot of fighters.